people come, raise the song of harvest home. All is safely gathered in, ere the winter storms begin. God our Maker doth provide for our wants to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, praise the song of harvest home. All the world is God's own field, fruit as praise to God we yield. Wheat and tares together sown are to joy or sorrow grown. First the blade and then the ear, then the full corn shall appear. Lord of harvest, grant that we wholesome grain and pure may be. For the Lord our God shall come, and shall take the harvest home. From the field shall in that day all offenses purge away, giving angels charge at last in the fire the tares to cast, but the fruitful ears to store in the garner evermore. Even so, Lord, quickly come, bring thy final harvest home. Gather thou thy people in, free from sorrow, free from sin. There forever purified, in thy presence to abide. Come with all thine angels, come, praise the glorious harvest home.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for another edition of our History of Hymns. Today, I want to begin with a quote by the author of the hymn for today. I do this day in the presence of God and my own soul renew my covenant with God, and solemnly determine henceforth to become His and to do His work as far as in me lies. These words were from a young man only at the age of 16 when he said them. His name was Henry Alford, a clergyman in the Anglican Church, just like his father and his grandfather and his great-grandfather. He became a vicar. He was born in London in 1810. He attended Trinity College in Cambridge, and then was placed in Leicestershire for a while. Eventually, he ended up his career as the Dean of Canterbury Cathedral, so he was kind of an important vicar in the Anglican Church. He reached the pinnacle of the career. He was a versatile man. He was an artist. He was an organist and a singer. He wrote hymns. He was a very talented speaker, and he was an author as well. He wrote a complete Greek Testament commentary in 4 volumes. It took 20 years to complete that work. He loved to mingle with the common man, with farmers and with craftsmen. He loved to be, he didn't spend all of his time in his office and in his church. He spent his time among the people. So it was at that posting in Leicestershire, in the town of Wimshold, that the people in this little town were very happy because they'd had a very abundant harvest in the fall of 1844. And they decided to have a festival rejoicing in the plentiful harvest that year. So for this particular festival, Alford wrote a song. And it's one that we've done many, many, many times through the years on Thanksgiving Sunday. Come, ye thankful people, come. In the hymnal, it's number 694. Come, ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. All is safely gathered in, ere the winter storms begin. God our Maker doth provide for our wants to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. So you can hear the joyfulness in that first stanza as he talks about bringing in the harvest, and it's stored safely to last them through the winter. But the rest of that hymn, it goes on. It goes on with this theme of harvest, and it takes the second and third stanzas take their influence from Matthew 13, 24 through 30, also known as the parable of the tares. The kingdom of heaven may be compared to someone who sowed good seed in his field. But while everybody was asleep, an enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and then went away. So when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared as well. And the slaves of the householder came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? Where then did these weeds come from? He answered, An enemy has done this. The slaves said to him, Then do you want us to go and gather them? But he replied, No, for in gathering the weeds you would uproot the wheat along with them. Let both of them grow together until the harvest, and at harvest time I will tell the reapers, Collect the weeds first, and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat in my barn. So if you listen to the second and third stanzas of this hymn, you can hear this parable being told. All the world is God's own field. Fruit as praise to God we yield. Wheat and tares together sown are to joy or sorrow grown. First the blade and then the ear, then the full corn shall appear. Lord of harvest, grant that we wholesome grain and pure may be. For the Lord our God shall come, and shall take the harvest home. From the field shall in that day all offenses purge away, giving angels charge at last in the fire the tares to cast, but the fruitful ears to store in the garner evermore. So you can hear that reference to Matthew 13, 24 through 30. The text really comes out. The fourth stanza that is done is taken from Revelation, and it speaks of Christ's second coming. Even so, Lord, quickly come, bring thy final harvest home. Gather thou thy people in, free from sorrow, free from sin, there forever purified, in thy presence to abide. Come with all thine angels come, raise the glorious harvest home. The first time the hymn was published in a hymnal was in 1844, and it was published in a hymnal called Hymns and Psalms under the title After Harvest. It was originally set to the tune that we use it as first in 1858. The tune that we use is called St. George's Windsor, and it was written by tune composer George J. Elvey. I think we've seen his name come up before in some of our discussions, maybe possibly of Take Time to Be Holy. When it was done in 1858, Alfred had kind of revised the text a little bit. Then the text went through a few other unofficial revisions that he was not happy with. In one particular one, the hymn was posted in a book called Hymns, Ancient and Modern. And the translation, the edition that was put in there included verses that were not Alfred's, and he was not happy about this. So he wrote another, first he wrote a footnote in another book disapproving of the revisions to his hymn, and then he wrote a final version in 1867 that appeared in the book Year of Praise. It's this final version that is most like the one that we have in our hymnal. So a little bit about this hymn, if we look at the hymn in its if we look at its meter down at the bottom, we talked about this when we talked about our hymn last week, when we talked about Take My Life and Let It Be, it has the same metric index as Take My Life and Let It Be. It is 77.77D. So it is 7 syllables, then 7 syllables, and then a phrase, and then 7 syllables and 7 syllables, and then we duplicate that. So it's 4 lines. It's actually 8 lines of 7 syllables to make up a verse. So really and truly, that means that if we wanted to, we could take Come Ye Thankful People Come and sing it to the tune of Take My Life and Let It Be, and vice versa. We could take Take My Life and Let It Be and sing it as Come Ye Thankful People Come. But we do want to keep it with the tune that we have, even though historically it is not appreciated by all. So let's think about this. I want to look at this a little bit. There is a hymn historian, hymnologist named Eric Routley. He really did not like using this tune for this hymn. He really was critical of it, he, although I don't have the information of how he criticized the hymn, I just know that in my readings about this hymn, he was critical of using that tune. But there is some definite reason why this tune works so well. The tune was first published in Hymns Ancient and Modern, and with that set of text that Alfred did not like for his hymn. So here's what we can say about this that makes it work really well. There's some places where the word come is given more emphasis in this tune. We use a rhythm called a dotted quarter note. And this come, ye thankful people, come, all is safely gathered in. This rhythm really helps to bring us into the tune. Also, when we sing about first the blade and then the ear, then the new corn shall appear, when you listen to this line, the line moves upward as it goes. So you can hear the corn growing as it's being, it's preparing for its harvest. So these little things about it make the tune work really well for the hymn. It is one of my favorites. Every year we sing it that I get a chance to sing it at Thanksgiving is a great time. It's just been a favorite hymn for years. So I hope you enjoy Come Ye Thankful People Come. As you could tell, we started this video out with our singing of the hymn with the lyrics instead of finishing. I decided to do this one a little differently, and I found a beautiful recording, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir singing this hymn, along with their orchestra and organ and handbell. So I thought we would close this video with that recording and close this series, as this is the last video for this series of Virtual Sunday School. Next week will be the first Sunday of Advent, and I believe Pastor Clark is starting a Sunday School lesson series based on his sermon series. So I hope you've enjoyed History of Hymns, and I'm sure we will be returning to this at some point in the future. Blessings to you all.